Hi again. Well, I'm actually recording during the day this time. I don't have a bunch of lights on me or anything, so if I look different or if you see these reflections in my glasses, it's actually daylight from the windows. I'm facing west, so the front windows have the sun behind them, so I'll probably have quite a bit of reflection. I'm sorry about that. Let's see if I keep my head down, maybe it helps. Anyway, hot as heck here, but not too humid, which is fine. I can handle the heat. It's the humidity that really gets to me, but um, we haven't had any, so that's good. Um, I got to drive our new car new to us car for the first time today, and I like it. I like the way it drives. I like driving it. There's a couple things that I would like to see changed, and we will see what we can do about those. One of them is that the 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 electronic four-wheel drive doesn't work anymore, so the former owner cut a hole in the floor, took a steel L bracket and made a hand shift into four-wheel drive thing, and then he took it's like a rubber strap with holes all through it, so you can shove this L bracket down and hook the bolt around one of the holes in the L bracket, or in the one of the holes in the strap that is bolted to the floor. Um, it's not the ideal situation. While it works, it's kind of a workaround. And it also leaves a massive hole in the floor that's about 8 inches actually, because I measured 7, and then there's another inch or so behind the L bracket, um, by 3 inches wide in the floor. So you look out and watch the pavement go. Um, I guess that is a fix, and he showed it to us yesterday, or he showed it to my husband, but it wasn't a deal breaker. It still isn't a deal breaker. Um, if that's what it takes to make the four-wheel drive work, then fine. We are going to figure out something that we can kind of slip under the carpet on 3 sides to cover that hole. We have some faux leather, and we can, we'll probably make something out of that, attach it to cardboard or whatever, and make some a faux leather uh, piece that'll slide under the carpet, and that'll hold it into place. And at least when we're not using the four-wheel drive, that will keep it covered. He said he put new leaf springs in the back, and I guess I'm just not used to that because I don't think I've ever had, well, not in many years, have I had a vehicle that, did heavy duty work like this was designed to do. So I have to get used to just the feeling of all of that. The CD player doesn't work. Again, not a deal breaker, something we may or may not have fixed. The air conditioning doesn't work. Every car we looked at yesterday, the air conditioning didn't work, and they all said, oh, it just needs to be charged. Well, in my experience in buying used cars, which is all of the cars I've ever had, when they say it just needs to be charged, it means it needs a whole new thing put in that costs $500. So, um, I don't pay any attention to that. Our mechanic I'll ask him to look at it. Of course, I don't know if, for the few months out of the year we need air, if it's worth putting it in or not, but we'll see. Other than that, I mean, we had a small drip of oil on the driveway where it was parked overnight, maybe 3 inches across, which I don't know. For a 99 vehicle, I guess that would be expected, a little bit of oil leaking. And actually, some of the other ones we looked at yesterday also had oil leaking. I don't suppose the gaskets and whatnot are made to last forever. So, but again, not a deal breaker. It's one of those things that you would almost expect with a car that's, let me see, almost 14 years old. So. We did get it for quite a bit under Blue Book, so we can still put money into it and still stay within that value range. Um, but you know, the brakes, the fans, the heat, the engine, everything else is just fine on it. So I'm not. It's and I do like it. I don't like it as much as my husband because he's a guy and guys like big black truck things. But I do like it, and I like it better now that I've driven it, and I love the sound system in it. It's got subwoofers. I mean, I really love the sound system in it. So that is a definite plus because I'm all about music and sound. And I do love the comfort when you're sitting in it. It is extremely comfortable to drive and to ride in. My grandson has no trouble climbing up into his car seat in the back seat, even though to me that seems like quite a climb, but he just scrambles up and gets in. So we'll be able to get him a bigger, more comfortable car seat now that we have a bigger, more comfortable vehicle too. He loves having in the middle there's a can't see what I'm doing with my arm here. In the middle there's in the middle of the seat something that folds down. It's got a Kleenex holder and for a little packet of Kleenex and two cup holders in it. He likes that because he was offered the option of having his car seat either in the center where he could see more through the front and all around, or if he wanted it off to the side so that he could use the cup holders, and he chose off to the side. Now if we go on a long trip, or if we ever take him somewhere longer than just around town, he will go in the middle, obviously, because that would be the safest place. But so I'm feeling better about the car than I was yesterday, and I like it. I like it a lot better. I'll like it even better when it's not so noisy. When we get that, my husband's sleeping, so I can't think of the name of it, but I mentioned it yesterday. Whatever it was, when we get that fixed, it won't be so noisy, and then get the hole covered so that we're not looking at the ground. That'll be good. I'll feel a lot better. Just those two little things I'll enjoy driving it a lot better. Today, let's see, this afternoon, I slept a long time because yesterday was totally exhausting. I exhaust quite easily. But yeah, I got up about 11:15 and my grandson was already here for the day. His mom is working today at Burger King. She's a manager. She's been there since she was 16, so that's over 6 years she's been there. Anyway, she was working today, and often on Sunday afternoons we would go pick up my mother and take her over to Burger King for lunch or late lunch, early dinner. We like to go when it's not too busy so that my daughter can spend a little time with her son. But my mother, who, as I've mentioned before, has Lewy body disease, which is kind of related to Parkinson's. They both are caused by Lewy bodies in the brain. You can go to LBDA, Lewy Body Dementia Association.org, and learn more about it. She was diagnosed about 6 years ago. Prior to that, it was just Alzheimer's, which doctors tend to slap Alzheimer's label on anybody with dementia. However, she was able to get a PET scan and get a proper diagnosis after that, and so, which is very important if someone has LBD or LBD. Anyway, since she's been at the nursing home where she lives now, which is just a mile from me, 4 minutes, which is one of the reasons we're here in this area, she has needed to go to a hospital twice to have her medications adjusted. And I believe that it's time for number 3. She's really struggling a lot right now, quite miserable, paranoid, aggressive, demanding. She is just having a really tough time. And a lot of times a UTI will be the cause of this in any older person, but especially one with dementia. She was diagnosed with one about a week and a half ago, went through her prescribed antibiotics, and if anything, they said she was even worse. So I've been talking to the nursing home every day. I don't go there because when she sees me, she just wants me to take her and move away and go somewhere else. She's trying to escape something that there is no escape for, no matter where she is. She doesn't understand that. She can't comprehend that, but that's what she wants right now, and that can't be. And so when I tell her that, because her memory is so poor, that I can tell her, well, not today, I'll be back tomorrow or whatever, she won't remember it the next day. But it gets me out without getting her overly upset. Usually. This time now it doesn't. So I don't go. Even her nurse a couple days ago said she calls me a lot, and to tell me to come and get her. And now she loves it there. She's been there 6.5 years, and she loves that place. She loves living there. She loves the people when she's in a normal state. And the thing with LBD, as opposed to Alzheimer's, is that LBD people tend to fluctuate. They have fluctuating cognition, and they have fluctuating. They might have really bad days and then rebound for a few weeks and be much, much better. At first, she was so much better that I even questioned whether her diagnosis was. But gradually, the lows get lower and the highs also get a little bit lower. Her bad days get worse. Her good days are not as good. And so, as we've watched a progression of the disease, whereas Alzheimer's, there's sort of a steady decline. There may be little blips, but there's a steady decline. Where with Lewy body, it's just, definitely a roller coaster ride. There are a lot of differences, and if you have a loved one and you suspect that maybe they don't have Alzheimer's, definitely see if you can get a proper diagnosis, because the meds that they use on Alzheimer's people can cause a ridiculously high decrease or large decrease in their abilities, and can even cause death. So you need to really be on top of it. If you have somebody with a loved one and you suspect there's something wrong, you don't feel like it's Alzheimer's, definitely you should get that checked out with a good geriatric neurologist who is what we call Lewy savvy, because a lot of doctors treat all dementias the same, and that can be devastating for somebody with LBD. So in fact, our the nursing home where my mother resides, they call me before they change meds or change anything, because I've seen doctors who have almost killed her in the past because they weren't Lewy savvy. Dementia is dementia according to most doctors, although hopefully that's changing. But at the time my mom was diagnosed, dementia is dementia is dementia. You give them all Haldol, you give them all Ativan, to keep their mood steady. Well, that almost killed her. Anyway, enough of that. Right now she's having a pretty tough time, so we went to Burger King without her today. My 4-year-old grandson does not quite understand why, and he did not understand when we went to see her a week ago, why she pushed him away and yelled at him and told us that she has no family. He doesn't understand that, but we have talked about Grandma Nay's brain, and that there's something in her brain that's not her. It's just this disease that she has. So, kitty, go away. So anyway, update, like I say, real rough time for my mom. And she is not happy. She's really suffering. And she can barely stand to be in her own skin. My sister and I are both of the opinion that even if a medication change were to cause her lower level of cognition, or even if it were to lead to a shortened lifespan, even, that this is no way to live, and whatever time she has left, because LBD is fatal, whatever time she has left we would much, much rather see less time, but with greater peace and contentment, if that can happen at all. So I've been talking to them about getting a referral to the geriatric psychiatric hospital where she's been, to get her meds adjusted, and I hope that because they do it quickly, and both times she's come back a new woman, and so I'm really hoping that can happen again. Again, it could just be the progression of the disease, and we may just have to watch it. So, I guess I'm over 14 minutes. Time goes so quickly. But I just wanted to report that I like our car better today now since I've driven it, and I like, I like driving it, and I'm enjoying it, and I know it's going to be a gas hog, but we don't do that much driving, so. Probably a 30-gallon tank of gas will last us a month, unless we make any trips downstate or whatever. So, all right. Well, this is it for today. Thanks for listening, and I will probably be back maybe tomorrow if I have anything to write about. Oh, one last thing. That was one reason I sat down. wanted to tell you that a half a scoop of vanilla protein powder with about a half a cup, not 3/4 of a cup of half and half, with a generous squirt of peach syrup, sugar-free of course. And did I say a half a scoop of vanilla protein powder? I think I did. And a handful of ice cubes with a, now I can't think of what that thing's called. Begins with, I think it begins with a V. Ninja, never mind, Ninja. And that makes a wonderful milkshake and a very happy 4-year-old boy. Okay, that's it. Good night, God bless. Have a great evening. Bye.